Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 4 of The Impossible Dream with Bala Town. And today we have a chance to go back to the Champions League group stages. We are going to be playing 2 games, home and away, against Dynamo Kiev. I think it's Dynamo, but it looks like Dynamo the way it's spelled. Anyway, that's not really the point here, is it? It's going to be two massive games. But before we get to that, the Premier League season is underway. Let's start by having a look at the season preview. And we will see here that we are very much favourites for the league. Evens ahead of the New Saints, of course, have Scott Rusko back in charge now. And it sort of goes down from there. But look at the Media 11 Dream Team. It's basically Bala Town. And what I find is really funny is you look at the key players. Glenn Middleton is one of our key players, and he absolutely is one of our key players. Not in the Media 11 Dream Team. So that gives you some level of idea of exactly how dominant we could be or should be this season. You can see there the new managers as well. Chris Lewin, of course, our previous assistant, is off at Bengal City. We're actually going to play him in between episodes here. So that's something I'll catch you up on the highlights of that. But you can kind of see there everything. We'll quickly go down the key players here if you're interested in who all the key players are from the various teams. None of our ex-players there that I can see. So no one's sort of going off and becoming sort of a key player. But we have played our first game already. That was against Carmarthen Town. Let's go and see how we did in our Premier League opener. We took an early lead when Adam Maurice crossed for Guto Kingsley at the back post. We doubled a lead thanks to Brandon Cooper's looping header. Before Loney, Tony McLean got a third from the spot. So there we go, it was comfortable at home against Carmarthen. We got it one early and we just kind of cruised from there. Guto Kingsley, Brandon Cooper with a nice header, and Tony McLean with a penalty. You can see he got injured a minute later, and it was a relatively serious one if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks with a hamstring, so not ideal. But hopefully we'll be able to manage without him. And in any case, we can see there from the match stats, absolutely dominated the game. And the very early league table will tell you that we are not top, obviously, because we've only played one game. But the New Saints are the only team that are unbeaten, and that's kind of to be expected. You can see we've got our draw for the third round of the Iron Brew Cup. That will be against Hearts Reserves. You'd like to think we could take Hearts, never mind Hearts Reserves. So that just kind of is what it is. But let's now go and have a look at what we're up against here in Kiev. We are at home for the first leg, which is not ideal. I think I'd rather play away from home first, so we're not sort of paying a price for away goals. And the reason for that is we don't really know too much about them. We can kind of see their key player here. Looks a really solid defender. Maybe not the quickest, but otherwise not too bad. And we just don't know anything about them. It's their first game of the season, so we're very much going in blind at home. With the risk of conceding away goals. So this is a team that we're sending out. It's going to continue with Jay Cock in goal. It's Burke, Williams, Gosney and Branthwaite as the back four. York and Williams in midfield. Simic, we're going to stick with him out on the right. I thought he looked really bright out there in the first leg against Karabakh, so we're going to persist with him there. Dixon in the number 10 role with Milton on the left. Allmark goes up top. The new guy registered in the squad is Dane Murray. He can play centre-back. He can also step forward and play in midfield, so he's a good option, but I just didn't want to break up a central defensive duo that's working right now and has a good understanding. So that's why he's on the bench. He's there if we need him. So they've come out in a 5-3-2 formation. Now this could work for us with wingers. We could hopefully overload them in wide areas perhaps. But again, they're just a better team than we are. So we're better players, maybe not a better team. So we're going to have to be wary of that. Pick up where they left off. I'm going to say that. Keep your run here going, boys. We've got nothing to fear. Except fear itself. Someone famous said that. Alright, here we go. There's not really, too much to lose here for us in a sense. Well, we've guaranteed ourselves Europa League group stage football at absolute worst. Obviously, the money difference would be very nice if we could get ourselves back into the Champions League. But, Europa League was not going to be a bad thing for us at all. And what we do have, of course, here is, I think, if you look at the other ties in the playoff round here, I think we did get the toughest draw. So that's not ideal over the bar. But, it kind of is what it is. You could argue we had a relatively soft run to get to this point as well. So, we're not going to cry about it. But, yeah, ideally here, if we could keep a clean sheet at home. We've seen before we can get goals away from home. So really, if we can just keep ourselves in the tie, that would be a good thing. Let's try maybe show some passion. We've got a couple of nervous-looking players here. Sam York has a nasty habit of looking nervous in big games, doesn't he? And Simic playing out there on the right, maybe not his preferred position. Bit of a snooze fest of a first half. Sorry, guys, but there we go. We have kept a clean sheet so far, so I'm going to say so far so good on that sense. What do we say here? You've been the better team. Please. I don't want to say I'm pleased because we haven't been that good. Unlucky. No, let's say we're not happy. There we go. Let's say we're not happy. I've done that before and it's backfired on me. But let's try that. Let's give it a demand more. And I'm looking at nervous players out there and I'm wondering if we need to make a change. We do have some options. Middleton now with a free kick. We don't have Allmark in there, which is a little bit of a bummer. But over the bar from, I think it was Reece Williams. They're looking for overlaps. How are they looking for overlaps? They only have wing-backs. Anyway, set piece to defend here. Ball in. It is another set piece goal that brings us down. It doesn't really seem to matter what we do. We are incapable of defending against a set piece. And if that is the goal that takes us out of this Champions League, I will be really, really annoyed. Not goal side. Who is it? It's Reece Williams. Offside flag. I mean, it doesn't really matter. No, look at that. It's the heel of Sam York. I don't know if it would have made much difference, to be honest. I don't actually think he was offside. All right, can we get ourselves back level? Have they angered us now? It's there for Allmark! Oh! Damien Allmark straight back at them. It's 1-1. Seconds, look at that. It's mere seconds since they've scored. We've gone up the other end with a throw. Burke to Middleton. Middleton back to Burke. Allmark, unlucky the first effort didn't go in, but the second one, reflexes of a cat. It is excellent, excellent stuff. Let's show some passion now, boys. Let's kick on here. I'm going to say it's not really working for Simic on the right, but Allmark's playing okay. So let's bring Declan Wright on for him. Sam York is a deep-lying playmaker. I don't think Dane Murray has a... he's not a playmaker, is he? The other option would be McVeigh as... You know what we could do? We could bring on McVeigh, switch those two around. McVeigh is an advanced playmaker on support, and that just might work for us. We'll get the nervous players off the field. It's not like they're playing particularly well in any case. And I would just about take 1-1, I think, especially given, again, we haven't seen that much from them. Just a set piece. I think all we're going to do in training between now and the second leg is defending set pieces, because it's the only way teams seem to score against us at times. But here we go. We're in stoppage time. We deserved a lot more than that, but we go to the Ukraine with a chance. And hasn't been a classic game to watch, but that's not too bad. Youthful Bala, draw with Dynamo Kiev. We're in the tie for the second leg, and that's really all we could ask for. Unfortunately for Sam York, hasn't done his chances much good of a call-up. I don't think Reece Williams either, but Damien Allmark on the radar now as well. I tell you what, he's getting to that stage. He just might be worth a sneaky call-up to the senior team. All right, guys, wait right there. I'll play through the Bengal City game. We'll be back for some highlights of that, and then the second leg against Kiev. I'm Chaz Hogan, Australian journalist here in Kiev, where we're just moments away from the home side Dynamo taking on the pride of Wales, Bala Town, for a place in the Champions League group stages. Should Aussie Villains men pluck another result from their backsides against superior opposition and qualify for the group stages, then this reporter just might start taking them seriously. I'm Chaz Hogan, Kiev. And if they lose, I'm not hauling my ass all around Europe covering the bloody Europa League. If I wanted to do that, I'd follow Manchester United. Okay, welcome back. Here we are in Kiev, getting ready for the second leg. But before we get to this, we do, of course, need to catch you up on how the derby went against Bengal City, against our former assistant manager, of course, Chris Lewin, who's now in charge. Chris Lewin? I think it's Chris Lewin, who's now in charge there. Let's go see how we did. We found ourselves behind at half-time thanks to some lackluster defending. But we drew level seconds after the break when James Waite threaded a wonderful pass for Guto Kingsley. We were in front moments later when Ryan Sears picked out Michael Stewart. And we secured the points late on when Adam Maurice finished off a counter-attack. So there we go. We were poor in the first half, and to be honest, deservedly behind. We couldn't have any arguments about that. But second half, we absolutely roared home. We were so much the better team. It was untrue. Kingsley, of course, one of our young strikers who's very, very high potential. So I'm giving him game time, and he's paying me back right now as well. So he got the opener. Michael Stewart, of course, our young Northern Irish striker, and Adam Maurice. So we all know about what Adam Maurice can do. Where is he? There he is there. So really, really good performance for us. Come back on the second half and put Lewin well and truly back in his spot. We have a look at what that means for the league table. We're still unbeaten. Carnarvon's above us right now, though they have dropped points, and the New Saints are still, they're 3 from 3. So they're still very much going leg for leg with us. But let's worry about the Champions League right now. We have the second leg coming up against Dynamo Kiev. We don't know, well, we know a little bit more about them, having played them in that first game. We're expecting them, or assumingly, to come out something similar, but we can't obviously know for sure. Heat map there we can see from the last game. Very, very narrow across their back three. Maybe we can look to exploit that a little bit more. But I thought we did a pretty good job. I mean, really there, the only key pass was that free kick. And we have done work. Unfortunately for us, are we still in the same month? Yeah. Unfortunately for us, with the games, we didn't really have too much time, but we did come back. For the day after Dynamo, we did a session on defending free kicks, and then we did a session on defending corners after the Bengal City game as well. So hopefully, we'll see the benefit of that right now. These are the heroes we're sending out to hopefully get the job done. There are a few changes from the, just the one change really from the first leg. Jaycock continues in goal. Burke, Williams, Gosney and Branthwaite as the back four. York and Williams continue in midfield. Declan Wright comes in to play down that right-hand side. I just didn't think we got anything out of Simic out there, so we'll see if Declan Wright can do better. Dixon and Middleton. We're going to keep faith with Allmark up front. He got the goal in the first tie, in the first leg, I should say. If he can get another one here, well, it'll be priceless. We need at least one, don't we? So they have changed the way they're playing. Now, the number 10 makes me a little bit nervous as to whether or not we should have somebody sitting in that hole there. Yeah. And two up top as well. Gomez says pressure's off. Come on, lads, show what you can do to keep the run going. I think that's probably the best thing to say here. Some calm, we have faith. Yeah. And here we go. Now, there will be a group stage draw coming up after this game, whether it be Champions League or Europa League. So we'll show that to end the episode. So make sure you stick around for that. Will Chaz be happy, or will he be annoyed that he's following around a Thursday night football team? Time will tell, won't it? But we do need at least one goal. We need to cancel out their away goal. And the sooner we can do that, to be honest, the better. Sam York again looking nervous. Williams is on a booking as well. Let's give him another get creative here. Again, we're not seeing too much from them so far, which is a good thing, but we're not seeing much from ourselves here either, are we? I'm wondering if we want to go two up top. Declan Wright's not playing well either. So Dynamo Kiev highlights. Come on, boys, can we win that? No, we can't. They've got a little bit too much space out there. Cross comes in. Williams heads it away. It's still with Kiev, though. Can we get a foot in here, a block, something? There it is, and it's a good finish. And I don't like the way that we're playing against this formation. I should have maybe been a little bit more, what's the word? Decisive, perhaps, and made this change sooner. Now it's going to make us look a little bit silly here. We're going to want someone up there, I think, to cover their number 10. That can be Williams. He can play there. So you can go deep-lying playmaker from that position. Let's get you as a Mazzella. All right. We've got those guys there. Declan Wright. Ideally, no. We're going to have to bring... We're sacrificing Middleton very, very early on here, but I think that's what we need to do. A false 9. Allmark as a pressing forward. Declan Wright. What do we do with him? I mean, we're half an hour in. Do I really want to make another change? I think we need to, though. Not that I've got my tactics wrong, but they're not playing the way we were expecting them to play, and it has caught us out just a little bit here. We don't need to panic. We still just need the one goal. But yeah, that is not ideal. Not ideal at all. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to come back and bite us on the backside, but I just feel like with their number 10, it wasn't their number 10 that scored as well there, perhaps. We did have our lines close together, so I was hoping that would kind of limit the space that he had to play in, but yeah, I mean, it hasn't particularly worked, has it? So we've made changes. Let's hope that they work for us, and if not, well, it's going to be Europa League, isn't it? What do we say to that? We haven't been terrible, but we haven't been particularly good. Let's try saying unlucky. Dan Williams, please don't get yourself sent off, mate. And we'll get back out there. We'll tell him to get creative and see what sort of reaction we get. Burke's not having the best game. We've got to work on defending a free kick now. Boys, we still cannot get our heads on free kicks, can we? It's definitely the Achilles heel of this team. We do have another sub to make. Burke hasn't had a great game. I'm wondering if we should have left Middleton on out there. We've lost out there. Ball goes forward. We should get to that. Reece Williams is there. He goes back to Jaycock. What can we do from here? Gosney has it now. Back to Jaycock. Pushes it out there to Burke. He's got a little bit of space. All right, can he get a ball into the box? Can we get a little bit of quality? Something, boys. Come on, Burke. No, we don't. Oh, and he's off. Where's Ap Gareth when you need him? Yeah, well, that hurts, doesn't it? That makes life a lot more difficult. We've got one more sub to make. If we were to go back to the old school formation here, and we'd just be without a centre back. I mean, it's worked previously. Do we go back to wingers? Maybe we do go back to wingers. We can bring Maurice on. I really wish I had Middleton to bring him back on. If we take off Dixon, go back to wingers. I mean, we're scraping the barrel now, aren't we? We'll get McVeigh forward a little bit. And yeah. Oh, it's just looking as though it's maybe just not meant to be this season. Come on, boys. What do we want to say here? Let's see what we can do. If we can get that goal and then maybe cling on, but we just don't look like doing anything right now. There's the ball. Allmark loses the header. Can we get to that? We can. McVeigh's done really well to keep possession there for us. Branthwaite back to Gosney. Back to Branthwaite. He's got a man forward. It's Simic. He goes to Sam York instead. There's Maurice on the ball now. Maurice, that's not what was needed. You had a man on the overlap. Why have you played that pass, mate? Here they go again. If they get a second, we're in serious, serious trouble, and that is probably going to be that. And I don't know what Adam Maurice was thinking. He had a man on the overlap. We were looking for overlaps. We were looking to exploit the flanks. And he's inexplicably played a nothing crossfield ball to no one. And, I mean, we're not going to really see it there, are we? And then it was just, it's too simple at the end after that, wasn't it? Let's tell him to concentrate. Here we go again. Let's not get embarrassed, boys. Come on, hold him down for a penalty. And it's Branthwaite. And this has been just really, really disappointing. We haven't shown up in the Ukraine whatsoever. Jaycock's made a save there, so that maybe keeps us in it. We need to get rid of it though, boys. There we go. McVeigh's headed that on. Here we go with Allmark. Can we maybe do a quick momentum switch here? Allmark keeps possession, does he? Yes, back to Sam York, and that'll do it for that highlight. And we've come back for another one. I'm wondering if we need to maybe lower this tempo, perhaps. I don't know what we need to do. Maybe play for set pieces. We don't look too bad from a set piece, I suppose, do we? But yeah, this formation that they've come out in, I think, I mean, that's a good goal. There's not much you can do about that. Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to sort of troubleshoot what's gone wrong here, the formation they came out in exposed our wingers, didn't they? That formation didn't work. They had too many men through the middle, and maybe I ditched it too soon. And I think the problem we've got, it was obviously going down to 10 men, is that we didn't really have subs left to change things. You'll see a Jaycock make that sort of not great effort, and you do wonder if that's maybe the next position we need to look to upgrade in his goalkeeper. What can we say? Let's try and encourage them. Can we get something on the board here for the away fans? Ball forward. Simic has got that. He's got pace. He's done his first man. Can we get a ball into the box? Where's Allmark? He's going. Simic. Back post. Maurice. Oh, it's blocked behind. That was nice, though. A nice little bit of play. That deserved a goal. Maurice with the corner. Headed away. And I just feel so disappointed at what's happened here. Another booking, is it? McVeigh, he's surely going to go in the book for that. No, got away with it. The referee's taking a little bit of sympathy on us now. Yeah. Come on, get a foot in here, boys. Get a foot in. And there's number 4. And it is getting a little bit... we probably shouldn't be attacking. It is getting a little bit embarrassing, though, now, isn't it? And we've just been thoroughly outplayed. It's not been our day. And the European adventure ends at the playoff. We are going to still get quite a bit of money from this. We've gone far enough. That was not good enough. So Dynamo Kiev triumph over Bala Town in second leg. As I said, we just it just wasn't the day, was it? It wasn't the day for us. Guys, wait right there. We're going to have a Europa League group stage draw. It's a massive anticlimax, but let's do it anyway. No, mate, I'm not doing it. I told you, I'm not covering the Europa League. Oh, really? I'm in breach of contract, then you'll sack me if I don't do it. All right, then, fine. Hi, I'm Chaz Hogan. The Europa League draw's about to happen. Brace yourselves. Happy? Okay, thank you, Chaz. Now, we are seeded third for the Europa League group stage draw. I'm really disappointed. I'm really sorry, guys. The one thing I was thinking about there, sort of while I was playing through to get to here, is I do wonder if maybe we need to have a different formation away from home against better teams. I think maybe if the Liverpool game, sort of the end of last season's group stage, and Dynamo Kiev there has shown anything, maybe that's what we need to look to do. But anyway, let's have a look at the first seeded teams here. Behind my head, we have Valencia, Lyon, AC Milan, Wolverhampton, Porto, Napoli, Bayer Leverkusen, and Shakhtar Donetsk. What we'll do is we'll just draw them out quickly here, because there's no point drawing this out any longer than it needs to be. Seated in the second pot here, we have Lille, PAOK, Dynamo Zagreb, Athletic Bilbao, Zenit, Basel, Galatasaray, and Trabzonspor. I tell you what, there's some big teams in this Europa League, isn't there? I was thinking maybe a positive of this would be that we might be able to get more, go further in the Europa League and get more coefficient points. But unfortunately, I'm beginning to think that might be a bit of a challenge here for us. If we're looking at groups we would like to get, we've beaten Dynamo Zagreb before, that's a tough game. I think PAOK, Napoli is maybe a better one. Otherwise, maybe Basel and Shakhtar Donetsk. We got points off Shakhtar in the Champions League last year, didn't we? So maybe we can do that. The other teams in this group with us are Hibernian, ourselves, Zora of Ukraine, Legia Warsaw of Poland, Rangers, Marseille, West Ham, and Braga. So there's probably a good thing we can't get Rangers, Marseille, or West Ham. But yeah, I think I'd like Group A or B, please. No? Okay. Maybe Group H. Can we be last name out of the hat, I wonder? I don't think we want this one, and that's what we get. Perfect. I should have just shut my big mouth, shouldn't I? Bayer Leverkusen, Galatasaray, Bala Town, and one other. Now, let's find out who the one other is going to be. It could be Genk, Dundalk, Linz, Zelina, who of course we've already smashed this season, so we would take them again. Feyenoord, Eintracht Frankfurt. What are they doing in the bottom thing? Olympia, that's a Slovenian team, and Reims of France. I'll take Dundalk. I'll take Zelina. One of those two, please. Otherwise, this is... I mean, it could... So far, that could borderline be a Champions League group, couldn't it? So far, none of the friendly ones done. Can we get Zelina again? No, we get Lask. Well, Manchester United destroyed them. Can we do something similar? We're about to find out. I would have taken Olympia, actually. That would have been a decent draw for us. But let's have a look at the group. And it's a tough one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, Leverkusen is going to be almost impossible, I would say. Could we compete with Galatasaray for second in the group, perhaps? I don't know how good this Lask Linz team is going to be. But that is not the easiest group that could have been, that is for sure. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I'm really, really sorry about the Champions League, that we aren't going back into it this season. Oh, I should say, we did get £2.5 million. Where are we down here? For qualifying for it, which is obviously a big drop-off from the Champions League. It should be just about enough to keep us afloat. We are almost certainly going to make a loss this season unless we can manage to go really, really deep into the Champions League, into the Europa League. But we should have just about enough money from this to keep keep our heads above water. So I think what we'll do is we'll come back for Cardiff Met Uni and our first game at home to Lask Linz. And I tell you what, that is almost a must-win game, isn't it, to start things off at home to the fourth-seeded team in the group. See how we do. Until next time, guys, I'm Aussie. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.